12, your first practical lesson today then. What I want you to do, I would have spoken to you in the Google Meet about looking at Picasso's portrait. And this is a portrait of him when he was around about 18. And it's a very serious drawing, very realistic. He's studying all the little features of his face. I would like you to take your own photograph of your face. Again, just try not to smile, don't complicate it, so we're just going to focus on the structure of the face. And if you can, turn your flash off when you take your picture, so it will just exaggerate the shadows maybe down one side of the face, so maybe one half of your face is towards a window or another light source, okay? I would recommend you put them both together so you can just compare how you're going to draw your portrait and how Picasso did his. Okay, so you should have in your portfolio sketchbook. We're only going to work on one side of the paper because later we may well cut these and mount them. You're going to need your graphite stick. If you're away from home and haven't got that, then you can work with a regular pencil, that's fine. Okay, now if you are going to work with graphite, unless you're very confident to get started in the drawing, remember you can't rub it out very easy. I'm going to go quite quickly into this so you can see what I'm doing because it's harder to see pencil, but sketching it first will just give you the benefit of being able to correct mistakes and rub them out without them being seen. Okay, so I'm going to push down a bit harder so you can see what I'm doing. First off, just a quick recap for those of you that aren't so confident with portraits. Sketching it out, the eyes are going to be roughly halfway down the face for all of us. Okay, we're going to do it dead straight on as well so we can give the line for where the nose is. Halfway between the eyes and the chin is roughly where the nose is there, and halfway between the nose and the chin is roughly where the mouth is. Roughly at the point of the eyes and the point of the nose there, you would see the ears. With mine, you can't actually see my ears there, they seem to be hidden. And then later, you will start taking away from that very boring kind of shape and give yourself the individual shape of your own head. Okay, even from these early stages, you can just, some of us have rounder heads, some of us have quite square chins, so you can just start working into it. Okay, now, try not to over-finish anything, work all the way over the picture so you can keep re-evaluating what you're drawing. Now with the eyes, remember the eyes are roughly an eye width apart. So imagine the invisible eye, in the middle of the forehead. Just going to put those in. Pay careful attention to the eyebrows because they do actually really distinguish us as people. It's surprising how different everybody's eyebrows are. Okay, so I'm just gonna, also I would say working from one side to the other, going back and forth is a really useful technique because although our faces are not symmetrical, they have a certain element of it, so it's just useful to do that. Okay, right, so I'm gonna leave that for now. Now with the nose, you can draw quite distinguished eyes and lips because they're different colours, aren't they, to the skin, but the nose is really just a protruding bit of skin behind a bone. So with the nose, really you want to just stick to using the shadow to make the nose. Don't draw all the way around the nose, just draw the shadow. So like I said, when you take your photograph, it's probably helpful if you take the photograph in a room where the light is hitting it from one side so you can have some exaggerated shadow. Think about the skull underneath your skin. So, it's going to go around the edge of there, so naturally I know it's going to get a bit darker there. The forehead would protrude. You're going to have, even on the lighter side, we have the eye sockets, so you're going to have some shadow going in there as well. Okay. And then you might want to give some sort of shadow of the hair at this point, because remember you can always draw with the rubber as well and dig in some lighter areas. Okay, so beginning to form the shape of the head. Now, the eyes, unless you're shocked, you're not going to see the whole of the eye, are you? So you're going to see probably one half of it there. You might see some of the white underneath, as you do in Picasso's drawing. Remember to keep the pupils very, very parallel to the edge of the iris. And then as you're doing it, I would like you to look all those little quirky little bits about your face that make you an individual. So somebody my age, obviously little kind of wrinkles on the head or whatever, but whatever it is about your face that just, I don't want you to try and make a pretty or nice picture. I want you to really just look at anything you see there and almost exaggerate it like Picasso did. Okay. Again, don't overdraw the eyeshadows, the eyelashes. You tend to just see just a shadow of the eyelash there. Okay. Remember what I said earlier about working all the way over the picture. Don't get caught up with finishing one area. As you become confident with it though, you can just say, yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm going to just distinguish little bits. And we're going to keep it quite brutal and direct like Picasso. Okay. Now, although I roughly said the nose is halfway between the eyes and the chin, obviously we've all got individual quirky little bits about our face, so adjust it. That's just a rough guide. Generally, we're just going to draw the underside, is where the shadow mainly is, with the nose. And then we're going to do all the shadow work that will make that look like it's protruding. Okay. Okay, lips, light tending to come, unless you want to play around with your light source, it's going to come from above. So the top lip will be more in shadow. And then we may be going darker at the edges perhaps. As you're doing it, just picking up on little things you notice on other areas of the face. Okay. And then with the bottom lip, you're predominantly going to see the shadow underneath and then going into the chin. And then just a little bit of shadow at the edges there. Okay. The neck generally, if you think about where the pupils are, the neck tends to be kind of roughly where the neck is, the pupil side, if you see a line coming down. Although of course with Picasso's and also with mine, you don't really see much of the neck, you just see it disappearing into the clothing, which we're not going to worry about too much. Just give a suggestion of that. Remember to swap between using the point like this when you're drawing and then the surface area, whether you're using pencil or graphite, just to get those larger kind of quick areas in there. It's better almost not to put the hair on than to just scribble it on. Just give a suggestion of like the general direction of where things go, and focus more on maybe the tonal areas. So if it's darker as it's coming towards the roots, picking up those little things that just represent how you tend to show yourself. But even if your hair's a bit of a mess like me, don't worry. We're not doing a perfect kind of picture here. We're making it very, very honest. And it would be great if you can keep the picture you're working from alongside the drawing. Okay. Remember what I said about just keeping working into things as you're going along. Be quite direct with how you're working. I'm expecting you to take about 40 minutes on this task, so the remainder of the lesson, because we're going to talk in the lesson a bit as well, but also some of the homework time. But it's not going to be a really long drawing unless you want to work away at it and you get quite into it. Okay, all the time trying to communicate a three-dimensional form as well. So I see a shadow here, I'm going to exaggerate it. I can see the shape of my eyelid here. I'm going to exaggerate that a little bit more as well. I can see the nose is dipping down, so I want to, in my language of the pencil, I'm just going to communicate that to the viewer. Everything I see, I'm kind of exaggerating it. I want that nose to stand out, the white area, so I'm going to put a little bit more shade in this area and then darken that side even more just to give it a bit of a dramatic effect. With graphite, the beautiful thing, you can actually, either use a cotton stick to blend or use your finger to keep it quite direct. How are we doing? Okay. Now, of course, you could fast forward or, take some of the bits out of this. I don't expect you to watch every bit. If you have so far and you've been watching this from the beginning, thank you. But I want to give you, I don't want to just talk to you and show PowerPoint and slides. If I was in the art room with you, I would be actually doing this kind of thing. So I want to keep the art lessons genuine, so it's not just like any other art lesson. Remember to draw the shadow as well, so there's quite a distinct shadow of my hair, coming in. So you're not just drawing features, you're drawing shadow and light as well. And that, of course, the beauty of drawing from observation is, in a way, you lose it in a photograph, because if you were actually drawing from looking at yourself, the light changes, and that can really engage you in your drawing. So if you do want to actually take a photo but also have a mirror in front of you, that's great. The more you can do observational, the better. Okay. Now, I have spent about probably 10 minutes on this. I'm not going to use up too much more video because I want you to get on with the work. I would happily carry on working on this for quite a while now, but that is not what I want you to do, just sit watching videos all the time. I want you to actually get on with doing the task. So that this is your task for today, to draw, and remember after it's picking up with rubber as well, but to draw a self-portrait in the style of Picasso's portrait there, just using tonal lines and exaggeration of shadow and light. So you come up, I seem to have made myself quite younger there, but you come up with a portrait of yourself that you've drawn from looking at yourself, okay? I hope you enjoy this task, and I look forward to seeing what you're doing. Please do put comments in the stream. Okay, take care, bye-bye. Okay, so this was having worked on it for 10 minutes or so more. I just wanted to point out, if you do have a little bit of paint and a brush there, just picking up just a little bit of the reflections on the eyes, or lightening bits where you've slightly gone too dark with the graphite because it's hard to rub out, is a useful little technique to do. Okay, right, I look forward to seeing your work. Bye-bye.